Hey, this is Casey. I am one melon marigold. On this gorgeous fall day, we got to start putting the garden to bed. Let me show you what I got going on. It honestly seems crazy that it's this time of year. We might be getting hard frosts here as soon as this weekend. So unfortunately, all my beautiful remaining melons and squashes and any last tomatoes I can find all have to come in. So I've been doing a pretty good job harvesting so far, but I've got some squashes up here and some melons that just have not wanted to ripen. So we're going to start up in the front yard today. All the fruit is going to come back to the backyard so I can weigh it and process it. And then all of the foliage is going to get broken apart and tossed into compost or picked up by the city. So we're going to get to work today. Are out, all the squashes and all the melons are out, and I'm gonna mow the lawn, and I gotta tell you, I have not missed mowing the front lawn. Hopefully next year we will not have this problem permanently. Anyway, here we go. Now that we got the beds cleared out, I have brought up some sifted compost from my back bin. I've got some quick straw and I have got some water. I'm going to amend both this and the onion bed with compost, top it with some quick straw, water it in, and the beds will be put to bed. Good morning, everybody. This is now like day 3 of garden cleanup. I always think I can get more done than I actually can. So yesterday I got all the tomatoes down, I got all the pepper plants down. In addition, I also put together what I call upstairs garden, and I'll show you guys that in another video, but I have grow lights upstairs. I got a cutie little hideaway place in the upper level of my house, and I put some grow lights on timers because I can't stop growing things and I like to try new things and experiment over the winter. So I did take a couple of my spicy pepper plants and put them upstairs, so hopefully they can keep growing and producing. Today, the name of the game is sunflowers. So you can see that nice big dried out one behind me, and then I still have a ton of large sunflowers in the backyard. Those are going to get sawed down today. Whatever still needs to be dried will be dried, but we're going to harvest out the seeds. Here we go. Come along, we get more chores done. Okay. So I have all the stalks down. What I do with these is I leave them outside to dry until they get like a dark brown. And then I actually take them inside for the winter and I lay them across sawhorses in my basement. And the stalk hardens and cures and it gets really thick. And if any of you have seen my onion patch video, you will know that I used my stalks from last year to build a onion raised bed out front. So I'm going to keep saving these stalks because they really do feel like wood. And yeah, they may break down over time. I'm always going to grow sunflowers, so I'm always going to have a fresh supply. So anyway, it saves it from your compost, because let me tell you, these stalks would be time consuming to cut down into small enough pieces to make them compost in any sort of timely fashion. So I'm going to show you one other thing. Okay, here's what I want to show you back here. This has to do with the roots. So sunflower roots are really actually pretty shallow. They center, I don't know, maybe within like a foot radius mostly, and they're right under the soil. And what happens when you try to take the roots out, it pulls out like a huge chunk of dirt with it. So I never pull out my sunflower roots. In fact, I don't pull out roots for most of my plants. I cut them down right at the top. Their roots over time are going to decompose, which is going to leave air pockets and fresh organic material for the new sunflower roots next year to push on into. So that little sunflower I cut down today really grew right up out of where an old sunflower was last year, just a new seed. So that's what I do. Tip for you guys who decide you want to grow some giant sunflowers: save yourself some work, save the stalks, use them for something in your garden, and don't pull the roots out, just chop them down at the base. I feel like we're going on like day 5, 18, 19, whatever, garden cleanup. curing potatoes, getting to the potatoes. So my potatoes have been curing down in the basement for about 3 weeks, and brought them upstairs, and I'm doing a little inspection. So I'm just kind of rolling them around in my hands. I'm brushing little bits of dirt off, and I'm just looking for any little bits of rot. So I kind of sift through one box at a time, make sure everybody's looking good. Any potato that seems a little soft or a little dubious, just pull out and make sure you eat that one right away. Throw it in your kitchen, right? So do this first, dust off the dirt. When you are harvesting your potatoes, don't worry about dusting the dirt off right away because you don't want to accidentally peel off any skin. I wait till after. Nice and thick, lovely potatoes. Everybody's looking good. These are all looking good. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, here's a good example. Here's a little dude. Got just the teeny weeniest bit of rot going on. It's okay. He's just a little on the softer side up top. So I'm going to take him in. I'm going to have him for dinner tonight. And then when your potatoes are good, I'm going to put them in the cooler. So I store a lot of my squashes, sweet potatoes in coolers because it gets cold up here. And that allows me to be able to keep them out in the garage if I need to for space. So storing them in coolers if you're in a cold climate is a nice way to go because it helps to protect them from freezing. You do not want your stored potatoes, squashes, what have you, freezing because as soon as they thaw, they're going to just rot into a big old mess. It's not going to be cute. So I get a cooler, and then I use wood shavings, little wood chips. These are the same kind of wood chips that you would get at like a pet store or Tractor Supply. This is like what your gerbils and hamsters, like what goes in their cages, you know? So we're gonna use that to kind of buffer all the potatoes. Let me show you. It's a loud day in the neighborhood today. I don't know, it's just what it is. A lot of construction, a lot of yard work. Everybody's getting their last stuff done, right? Before we really get snow and rain. So potatoes just nestle themselves into the wood chips. I just do a layer at a time. I leave them slightly apart so nobody's touching anybody really. That way, if one rots, it's not necessarily going to leach into all the others. Put a layer in, give them a little space. Cover them up with another layer and finish the rest. Also, I am reusing the wood chips year to year. If there are any vegetables that rot while they're sitting in it, I do take like the surrounding wood chips out, but the rest of it just stores just fine. And that's it. So the rest of my cured potatoes are in the basement, so that's where I'm going to take this to fill it up with the rest. I'm going to store this cooler in my basement this year. Last year, in the last couple of years, actually, I've kept them out in my garage, which you can do too. Where I live, we need a lot of snow to insulate our garages, and we have not been getting that much snow lately due to climate change. And so last year, my garage got too cold too often, and I did lose some vegetables to freezing. So this year, since I got such a big lovely harvest, I am going to keep them in the basement instead and see how that works. But either place, as long as they don't get frozen all the way through, you should be good to go. Okay, last food job. That's it, and this video is going to be done. So all of the sunflower seeds that we harvested are dried up, and so it's ready to blow the chaff off, and so that I can take them inside and roast them or just eat them or whatever. It is a really windy day, but sometimes that doesn't always like actually mean it's consistent enough to blow away the chaff on its own. So I brought out a separate little fan to help me, and all I'm going to be doing is dropping seeds into the air so that the seeds fall down into the bucket and the wind blows the chaff away. We'll give it a go. Sunflower seeds are ridiculously easy to save. This head has been drying for a hot minute, and all of the little seeds could just be shaken out or pulled out with your fingers. But I find it easy to use like a shopping bag or a cardboard box to shake the heads out. I personally have been growing sunflowers for a while, so I don't have a huge need to save them for seed at this time. So my sunflower seeds end up going to the birds, but I do want to save a few for roasting. That's perfectly fun for me. This is the last little bit of my roasted sunflower seeds from last year. Sometimes I add flavorings. It's kind of fun. Anyway, here we go. So this is normally the part of the video where I say something like, and just like that, folks. Except for this wasn't just like that. It was like days and days worth of cleanup all combined into one. It's times like this where I'm sad a little bit because the things that we worked so hard to grow are coming down. But at the same time, like, look what we did. Look at everything that we grew. I am so blessed to have food in my house that can sustain me and my dogs for months to come if needed. And it's wonderful. It just feels good to be able to take care of myself with good, healthy food and be able to pass that along to some of my neighbors and friends and all that good stuff too. So thanks for sticking with me. I love you guys. I'm going to talk to you again real soon, okay? Bye.